Ruth is charismatic. And Boaz said to Ruth, "Have you not heard, my daughter? Do not go to glean in another field, neither shall you go away from here, and here you shall stay with my maidens. Your eyes shall be on the field that they reap, and you shall follow them. Have I not ordered the youths not to touch you? And if you are thirsty, you may go to the vessels and drink from that which the youths draw." Boaz thinks that Ruth is charismatic because he hints to her how he likes her. He does this by telling her that he wants Ruth to only glean in his field.
Ruth is smart. She prostrated herself with her face to the ground and said to him, "Why are you so kind as to single me out?" Ruth 2:10. This teaches that she prophesied about herself, that he would know her intimately. Ruth is smart because this quote says that she could possibly tell the future.
Is honest, and she said, "Let me find favor in your sight, my lord, for you have comforted me, and you have spoken to the heart of your handmaid. But I am not as worthy as one of your handmaids." Ruth 2:13. Ruth was honest to Boaz about how he has treated her so well and being so nice to her.
Ruth is responsible, and she said, "He gave me these 6 barleys, for he said to me, 'Do not come empty-handed to your mother-in-law.'" Ruth 3:17, in parentheses, okay. Ruth was responsible enough to take Boaz's barley to Naomi.
And Ruth said, "Do not entreat me to leave you, to return from following you, for wherever you go I will go, and wherever you lodge I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die I will die, and there I will be buried. So may the Lord do to me, and so may he continue, if anything but death separate me and you." This is when Naomi tells Ruth to stay in Moab instead of coming with her to Bethlehem, but Ruth tells her that she wants to stay with her. Ruth is willing to be loyal to Naomi, follow her, help her, and root for her.
He is brave, and Boaz ate and drank, and his heart was merry. And he went to lie at the edge of the stack, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. This is when Naomi tells Ruth to cover Boaz's feet with her skirt when he fell asleep. Ruth wasn't afraid to cover Boaz's feet with her skirt, even though she didn't know what would happen if he would like her to. Ruth, because she saw the words of her mother-in-law, Ruth was brave to go with Naomi.
Honest. And he prayed to the Lord and said, "Please, O Lord, was this not my contention while I was still in my land? For this reason I had hastened to flee to Tarshish, for I know that you are a gracious and merciful God, slow to anger, with much kindness and relenting of evil." Jonah 4:2. Jonah is being honest to God about what he really thinks of him when he says that he is gracious and merciful. He is also apologizing and telling the truth about his sin.
He was not scared about what the city would think. And Jonah commenced to come into the city 1 day's walk, and he proclaimed and said, "In another 40 days Nineveh shall be overturned." Jonah 3:4. The sailors were frightened. Jonah 1:5. On the boat, Jonah knew that he was to blame to the storm. In the Tanakh, it tells us that the sailors were frightened. It does not mention Jonah.
Is sincere. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. Action. When he was hiding from God, he went to the boat, and God made a storm appear. And the sailors threw Jonah off of the boat because they thought it was his fault that the storm came. He was sorry because God sent a big whale to come and eat Jonah. Quote, "Jonah prayed to the Lord, his God, from the belly of the fish."
He wanted to give himself on behalf of Israel. He does not want Israel to look bad because Nineveh is better. Jonah said, "I will go outside the land of Israel to a place where the divine presence is not revealed, so as not render Israel guilty."
Esther shows off her leadership qualities: intelligence, honesty, trickery, patience, bravery, charismatic, and responsibility. At the start of the story, we find out that Esther is a friendly, outgoing personality. Everyone she meets ends up liking her. The maiden, Esther, pleased the King Ahasuerus, Esther 2:9. The king was also attracted to her because of her appearance. Esther obtained favor in the sight of all of them that looked upon her, Esther 2:15. Esther was the ideal woman, a feminist look at Esther. Of all the qualities that a leader needs to possess, beauty and grace are sometimes valued as highly as strength and patience. After she becomes queen, she She tricks the king into thinking that she is not Jewish. She was told by her uncle Mordecai not to tell the king her name and her religion. Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate. He was encouraging her and hinting to her about it, Rashi. Later she feels for people, the Jews, because she is queen and lives in the lives of the Jews rest with her. After she finds out about the plan Haman formulated to kill all the Jews, she conducts a plan to meet with the king. Esther's scheme involves getting the king happy and drunk. The king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, Esther 7:2. The king tells her she can have anything she wants. Esther uses her intelligence to make the plan of saving the Jews successful. This shows her intelligence that she uses to set up the banquet to accuse Haman of trying to kill her. If it seems good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Esther 5:4. Before putting her plan into action, she waits all day while the Jews fast and mourn. There was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Esther 4:3. She is trying to get up her strength for when her time comes to go against the law and come uninvited to the king, her husband. Another one of her attributes is her grace, which comes from her patience, Esther 2:17. Her bravery is shown when she goes to the king, even though she can be killed for calling unannounced. Esther says, I also and my maidens will fast in like this manner. And so I will go unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. Esther 4:16. Esther's actions indicate that she is willing to sacrifice herself for people, the Jews. In the end of the story, Esther is honest with the king about her religion. If I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the God, the king, let my life be given at my petition, and my people at my request. Esther 7:3. If Esther had not set up the plan and told him that she was Jewish in the beginning, then the king might not have married her, and she would have been killed along with the other Jews.
Job was a transparent character. Everyone knew that he welcomed the poor and gave them money. Job's house had 4 doors in order that the poor should not be in distress of having to go around the entire house. If we look at the book as a non-fiction story, then we can see that Job was an ideal of an honest person. Job never existed, because God would never cause that kind of suffering to a man who praised him.
Job is patient. Every time God struck against him, he still trusted in God. He waits for whatever God throws at him. Job does not see the point of arguing with God, so he just waits. Man cannot win suit against God. Job 9:2. The adversary answered him, and the adversary answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God for nothing? Have not you made a hedge around him, his household, and all that he has on all sides? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his livestock have spread out in the land. But now stretch forth your hand and touch all that he has, and he will not blaspheme you in your face. 1:9-11. Job was patient towards God, and he waited until it was the right time for whatever God wanted Job to do.
Satan killed his children and destroyed his riches. The house, collapsed upon the young people, and they did. Job 1:19. Job was saddened by this, but he still trusted in God. A messenger told him that his children were dead. I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Job 1:19. Messengers kept coming, and the news became worse and worse. Job stayed strong and swallowed it raw. A closer look at book Job.
In the beginning of the book, we see Daniel is a very smart man who was given intelligence by God, youths in whom there is no blemish of handsome appearance, who understand all wisdom, who are heir to knowledge, who understand how to express their thoughts, and who have strength to stand the king's palace, and to teach them the script of the language of the Chaldeans. Daniel 1:4. Since Daniel is so smart, it would be easy for a person to take all the credit for it. But Daniel is so honest that he thanks God for his wisdom. To you, O God, my forefathers, I give thanks and praise, for you have given me wisdom and might, and now you've let me know what I requested of you. For the matter of the king, you have let me know. Daniel 2:23. And when the king asked him how he interprets dreams, he says, It isn't me, it is God. Do you have the ability to tell me the dream that I have seen in interpretation? Daniel answered the king and said, The secret that the king asked, no wise men, astrologers, nemocrasters, or demonologists can tell the king, but there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he lets the king Nebuchadnezzar know what will be at the end of the days. That is your dream and the visions of your head on your bed. Daniel 2:26-28. Daniel will follow the laws because that would be going against God, and God is more important to Daniel. The king sentences Daniel to go with the lions. Daniel isn't scared because he is brave and knows that God will do what is right. Then Daniel spoke with the king and said, "May the king live forever." And God sent his angel, and he closed his mouth of the lions, and they did not hurt me because a merit was found in for me before him, and also before you, O king. I have done no harm. Daniel 6:22-23. Another time we see Daniel's bravery is when Rashi talks about Daniel knowing that the temple was going to be destroyed, which would be really horrible for Daniel, and is calm about it. And 10 horns are, the angel explained to him that these are the 10 kings who would ascend the throne of Rome before Vespasian, who would destroy the temple. Rashi, Daniel 7. The king starts to really like Daniel, even when he doesn't follow the laws. When he is forced to punish Daniel, he really doesn't want to because he loves Daniel. Daniel is a personality that people are drawn to. He became very displeased. It was bad in the eyes of him because he loved Daniel, and his death would be very painful. And Rashi, Daniel 15.